Hey everyone, in case you don't already know, I'm Pete.
And I'm Eunice.
We're co-hosts of We're Loud TV on Slovenly Live, sort of. Actually, we have to pre-record because our shit internet connection can't handle live streaming. We might try to join live if our connection is really good at the moment. Otherwise, we'll be running the chat.
We're coming to you from exile in Oaxaca, Mexico. This is where mezcal is made. It comes from here in Oaxaca, Mexico, and we're drinking this lovely concoction here. So, drink up. And
Cheers.
Here's our fancy little cups we got here.
We've been here since mid-March, around 3 months. I can't remember the last time we stayed in one place for this long.
Normally, we do because we're planning a festival. And are we planning one here? I don't know.
It would be great here. There are definitely some cool venues and plenty of cheap accommodation. So maybe. But actually our plan for the next We're Loud was a double weekender starting in another part of Mexico, the Yucatan, and ending the following weekend in Havana, Cuba. We were about to announce it and be in promotion in March when the coronavirus started to hit hard. So of course it won't happen in November 2020 as we planned.
But we haven't canceled it, and we're gonna do it. We just don't know when, but it's happening.
In this show we want to give you an update on We're Loud Fest.
And we want to check in with some of our festival organizer friends to see what they're up to and see how
right.
they're hanging in there.
Thanks
So,
for joining us.
Cheers.
Hope you're all doing good wherever the hell you're at.
Yeah, be safe, stay safe,
And drink
take
up.
care of one another, and get fucked up.
Ehi, ciao a tutti, benvenuti alla puntata numero 0 di We're Loud TV. Io sono Pido, stiamo trasmettendo da Venezia in Italia. We're broadcasting from Venice, Italy. Sorry for my Italian starting. Welcome to the first episode of We're Loud TV. I'm Pido, I'm from Italy, Venice. Today we have with us Peter and Eunice in Mexico right now. Hi guys.
With a shitty connection, so maybe you can't hear us well, but we're gonna do our best.
We can hear you well. And with Carmen, you're in Mexico right now or in Cuba? Where are you?
I am in the United States right now. Yeah, if
I
I were in Cuba, probably I wouldn't be able to join you because the internet there is even worse.
Even worse. Okay, but you are from Cuba, right?
I'm from Spain. I know it's crazy. I'm from Spain, but I work with Cuba. So.
Okay, and you helped Pete and Eunice to organize the last tour and to plan the next We Are Loud edition in Cuba, right?
He contacted me, but the thing is that, well, probably he can say more about the festival because now it's not certain that they're gonna do it in November because of all the coronavirus thing. But he contacted me about the festival that they want to do.
We have also Zach here. Sorry, I popped you, but from Gunner Records in Memphis will be with us later in a few minutes. Zach. Sorry, it was my mistake. Peter and Eunice, they should be back with us. Their connection works. So, can you, Carmen, can you tell us something about your work in the punk community?
Fucking God!
Yes, I'm doing research that is a little bit academic, but that I think also applies to regular life and like punk heads and people who are interested in DIY scenes. But I'm doing a PhD in Hispanic studies, so my dissertation is about Cuban punk. And the thing is that there's very little available information about Cuban punk online, so I've decided it would be good to just gather all the information I can and make it as available for everybody as possible. So that's why I've recently launched this very humble website named punkcubano.net. And it's kind of a digital archive of Cuban punk music. So you can just like look for bands and stuff. And the site is still growing. There is bands I don't have music from yet. So I'm updating it whenever I get something new. And there are also some video testimonies of punk members of the scene in Cuba that I've been able to interview. And those little videos are meant to show just, I don't know, an insight of what punk life in Cuba is. And they're also part of a larger project, which is a documentary on Cuban punk that we're working on, but that's not ready yet. We're still editing it, and it will be hopefully ready by the end of this year.
Okay, what's the name of the documentary you're working on?
It doesn't have a name yet, actually. It's supposed to be a general overview and history of Cuban punk, focused on different underground bands. But yeah, we don't know what to name it yet.
Okay, we have another video maker, another filmmaker with us that we will talk with him later.
Hey.
It's Joe Arlotta. Hi, nice to see you.
You too,
We
guys.
introduce you now, and we'll talk. Joe made a really incredible movie about the most important rock band in Zambia, Witch. And we're gonna see your trailer later. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Okay, so we slowly have been to Cuba early this year, and we prepared a little video to show what the guys have done, trying to find a venue for good punk shows and getting some links in the local underground. Are you ready? Let's see.
We went to Cuba earlier this year on a support for the Cuban people cultural exchange mission. That's actually how a U.S. resident can travel there as a tourist legally. Of course, we were focused on finding the music, and Cuba is famous for it. But is there punk rock in Cuba? Yep. This is Catharsis from Sancti Spiritus, a town right in the center of the island.
Hago un pequeño video, ¿no? Antes del ensayo. Una entrevista rápida.
Dale.
¿Vale? Ok. Pues contarme quién son y qué están haciendo aquí.
A ver. Esto es Catarsis y estamos ensayando
¿Dónde estamos?
en Santi Espíritu.
Cuba.
Santi Espíritu, Cuba.
La Casa de Cultura.
Este es el local de ensayo. Con este plato tocábamos en los conciertos. Este es el plato de los conciertos. Está bueno, ¿eh?
¿Cuánto tiempo?
Así estuvimos. Ray, ¿qué tiempo llevamos tocando con este plato? Como 2 años, 3 años.
And here's a website link to all the rest of Cuba's punk bands. But can international punk bands also play in Cuba? Yep.
Very good. Not speak English.
Catharsis helped organize a mini tour for the Cavemen earlier this year too. And the Cuban kids fucking loved it. So when is the festival? The world's too fucked up to set a date just yet, but we found some really crazy places in Cuba for the party to happen.
Música.
Podemos dar un concierto aquí.
Sí.
Okay, we're back We're back in the studio.
Yeah, we found a cave for the show in Cuba as a potential location.
Okay.
Huge.
So next We're Loud in Cuba is gonna take place in a cave.
Whoa,
so
I
it's
can't
gonna
hear
be really
anymore.
primitive. It's gonna be primitive, like real cavemans. Okay, the pit is gone. So we see in the video, like the bandits in Cuba having like difficult times just to find equipment, like these drums, strings, this kind of. What is your experience? Can you tell us something?
Getting equipment in Cuba is very, very difficult. Not only because of if you're not too familiar with Cuba, they have this double currency system. So they have the Cuban national peso and they have the convertible peso, which is equivalent to the dollar. And the thing is that people get their salaries in Cuban pesos, but like music equipment and stuff, it costs, it's priced in dollars. So it's way, way out of their price range. And even if they have the money to afford it, it would be difficult to find because of the US embargo. It's just not easy you cannot just go to a store and buy a guitar. It's very difficult to find. So there have been a lot of initiatives to bring in used equipment and guitar strings or drums equipment to bring it to people, even if it's used, because they just can't afford it and can't find it. That's one of the many struggles that you can find when you want to make a band in Cuba.
I have a question because I always knew that in Cuba there is a great musical heritage and like the socialist state like helps out musicians. But with the punk underground, there is a connection, like the state supports punk bands or something like that, or just the traditional bands are for this?
Well, nowadays there is the Cuban Rock Agency, which is supposed to support all forms of underground music related to rock, like metal or punk. And there's also another state institution named Asociación Hermanos Said, which supports young creators. So punk is supposed to fall under those circumstances, but support is not always that real because I don't know, like they prefer other types of music performances or like Nueva Trova or maybe just rock or metal, but punk is sometimes uncomfortable for the state because they voice a lot of complaints that they just don't want to hear. So, but I would say that nowadays is legal and kind of accepted, but you have to be careful with what messages you say. Before, when punk emerged in the late 80s or early 90s, it was way worse. It was way more attacked and controlled by the state. Nowadays, we could say it has improved, but it's still not as good as in other places.
Okay, so there is still a lot of control from the state, but we are like in a hybrid situation, like it's changing, things are changing, we can say.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope we can, I want to go there. I've never been there, I would like to come see some shows, but I've been to Puerto Rico last year for the We're Loud Fest that Slovely did, and yes, there's breaking stuff sometimes. And yes, let's see a little piece of video from this Puerto Rico We're Loud. Okay, let's be back,
Take a plane from New York, let us know all behind. Land down in Puerto Rico, all the songs that fry my mind. Then I stop in the city, little place called San Juan. Mucha first time he visto Puerto Rico. Oh Señor, me vuelve loco. First time he visto Puerto Rico. Oh Señor, me vuelve loco. First time he visto Puerto Rico. Oh Señor, me vuelve loco. First time he visto Puerto Rico. Hey señorita, let me try mofongo. Curious. Big bongos. Señor, me vuelve loco. First time he visto Puerto Rico. Yeah, señor, me vuelve loco. First time he visto Puerto Rico.
Okay, we're back in the studio. Let's welcome also Eric from the Oblivions and Gonna Records. Nice to see you.
Hey.
And Pete is back with a better connection, I guess, because I can see you.
Hopefully.
Just for like 5 minutes.
Okay, we have Eric here. You play also with the Oblivions. You played in this edition of the Puerto Rico We're Loud.
I think they told me I did. Yeah.
I remember you on stage.
Yeah.
What was your impressions? Can you tell us something of this experience?
Yeah, we had a blast. It was really, really fun. The kind of element of the unknown was always good. You know, you get on a bus trying to go somewhere and no idea when things are going to happen or anything like that for the day trips and stuff.
Come on, everything was perfectly organized.
It was fine. Everybody ended up where they needed to be, and they had a great time doing it. I mean, really, I got to hang out with so many people, you know, from all over the place. It's just, you know, the music brings you there, but it's the people, fans, and everything that's the best part, really. So we had fun. I think we managed to get some giant place to stay with like 20 people, and I pissed off all the housemates the whole time by staying drunk the whole time and being obnoxious. But yeah, turns out they didn't like Travis Scott music that much. So, but yeah, it was a great time.
We missed these times actually after this lockdown time here. You know, it's good to remember this.
Of course, yeah. Hey, that, you know, we know the Davila guys from Puerto Rico, and it's just good to see all those guys out for the festival.
Yeah, and you also, let's start to introduce also why you're invited here, more than for your musicianships, that is the best we know, but also because you're organizer of the Gunner Fest.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about this year's Gunner Fest and what is your plans?
Well, let's show a little video. Let's show a little video first, Enrico.
Okay.
Show it. Let's see it. The one from last year, super cool. Then we'll bring Zach in too.
Go!
Rock fans, Gunner Fest 16, September 26th through 29th in Memphis, Tennessee. Prepare to get annihilated by 4 days of explosive action. Featuring the Mummies, King Brothers, Oblivion with Quintron, Simply Saucer, Knobs, fun and danger around every corner. Greg Cartwright and the Tip Top, Giorgio Murderer, Fog, Moto, Thime, Tommy in the Con, Hash Redact, Parse, Aquarian Blood, all taking place in Memphis, Tennessee, home of the world's most dangerous musicians, highest concentration of professional wrestlers on the globe. You can still smoke indoors almost anywhere. A true rock and roll adventure, and so much more. Gunner Fest 16 in Memphis.
Whoa, what happened?
Bomb. Super bomb.
Yes.
So
How was that?
we have Zach also.
I wanted
Thanks for joining us.
to be there so bad.
What? We didn't hear you.
You froze, Pete.
You froze. So I guess I go on with the. Something's not working very well. Oh, we have stuff in the. Okay, so what's your plan for the next Gunner Fest, guys? What you plan to do? Difficult.
What are we doing, Zach? Unmute.
Ah, sorry. Zach is mute.
Yeah, I think he has to unmute it himself.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey. Come on.
Hey.
I think we're still figuring it out, aren't we, Eric?
Yeah, we had big plans, obviously, and we're contacting people that were going to be on tour or wanted to tour towards us, and that's not happening at all these days. So we are trying to figure out some stuff that can happen in Memphis and some stuff that can happen online, and figuring out how much of that is a paid deal, how much of that is a free for everybody deal, and how we are going to pay for any of it. So it's a lot of fun questions.
And you were closed with your record store during the lockdown, or you could keep open it?
Yeah, we were still open. Our mail order was going, and we've just today started taking people in the shop, basically 2 people per hour, just super slow. So trying to figure it out. Other places are open
from March, April, May until today, when we had somebody come in for the first time since mid-March and shop with a mask on and gloves on, and it's just a whole different thing trying to figure out how to navigate it all. But yeah, we were able to move most of our sales over to online and sort of stay afloat. But it's been difficult. I think it's been difficult for everybody. In whatever walk of life you're in, whatever you're trying to do, it's been affected by this thing. And I think we've been able to weather it a little bit better than other people, just because we were able to move stuff online and sell records that way.
Yeah, cool. So I hope we will see you soon. I don't. We'll be back in. You come to Italy to play, or?
I hope so.
We are okay, almost okay here. Today we entered in the phase 3 in Italy. It means that we can, we walk around with no mask. Today, like the theaters apparently opened, the theaters and the cinemas, but of course, most of us, 90% of the people like me, like freelancing for theaters or festivals or productions, are still unemployed. I mean, they started, but everything is still closed. There is nothing really interesting going on. And so we are entering the phase 3, and let's see how it goes. We survive.
Exactly. Yeah, we're a whole lot of waiting and seeing for everybody, obviously.
Oh yeah, and you have plans with the Oblivions going on?
Not really. We were invited to a bunch of festivals this year that we couldn't do, and we're just holding off for now. Greg's doing his Raining Sound thing a little bit. He was touring earlier this year, and we'll see what happens down the line.
Did you play the FUNTASTIC with Oblivions?
We did not. We were invited. We were invited, and we wanted to do it, but it didn't work out. Yeah, someday. I hope.
Someday. So this is the good moment to say we want the Oblivions back to the.
We want to come back. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, we have a little. This was an introduction for the next video we're gonna see. It's a message from Varo and Paloma of the FUNTASTIC.
Aquí en Benidorm, perla del Mediterráneo, a esta ciudad que algunos llaman también Benidorm por sus grandes edificios, por su skyline maravilloso, al que venimos todos los años para hacer este festival, y ya van 11.
Está instalando un letrero luminoso que no se ha hecho. Está hecho todo con material de la basura y material reciclable, como cubiteras de hielo.
Lo que hace que esta fiesta sea tan loca es que los que lo montan están muy locos y son una gente de puta madre.
This is like equally crazy, a little bit more local than Wild Weekend. You can do whatever you want, increíble.
No lo sé, es que como el Drácula no hay ningún otro festival, o sea, es como una boda en la que todo el mundo se encuentra en la misma época del año.
Hola amigos de Slovenly, nos hemos pasado una pandemia aquí de lujo. En una playa tropical, tomando aquí unos cócteles, comiendo langosta, bañándonos en el mar azul. Vamos, un lujo. A que os da envidia, ¿eh?
Pues todo es mentira.
Esto no es un cóctel, es un puto vaso de agua con Mistol. Y esta es nuestra casa donde llevamos 3 meses metidos.
Hemos tenido que poner esto para no morirnos de asco.
Hemos puesto este decorado para que parezca...
Todo porque nos gusta la fantasía y nos gusta llevar las cosas lo mejor que se pueda.
A ciencia cierta, nadie sabe lo que va a pasar en octubre a día de hoy. Así que cualquier cosa que os podamos decir al respecto, pues es hablar por hablar.
Nuestra intención, claro, es hacerlo, pero es que estamos esperando a lo que dicen las autoridades sanitarias y sobre todo ver cómo se desarrolla la pandemia y ver, porque claro, a todos nos gusta la fiesta, pero lo más importante es la salud de la gente y mirar por el bien común. En resumen,
que la incertidumbre es total, que si podemos hacer algo, aunque sea más pequeño, que será más pequeño seguro, en octubre, respetando las fechas que teníamos, pues lo haremos.
Haremos algo con el aforo que se pueda, como se pueda, pero desde luego, si no nos dejan bailar,
claro,
olvidarlo, porque imaginaos un FUNTASTIC sin bailar.
Si no mejoran esas medidas, pues seguramente no lo podamos hacer.
Así que bueno.
Pero bueno, nosotros si podemos lo haremos.
Y esperando...
Os avisaremos con tiempo suficiente,
avisaremos
claro.
Con tiempo para todo el tema de entradas y todo eso, para que os podáis organizar, y esperamos veros a todos en octubre, y si no en el 2021,
pues ahí nos veremos.
¡Viva el rock and roll!
Okay, thanks Varo, thanks Paloma for this message. I hope everybody want to be there this year, possibly, but definitely next year. Next year also here Slovenly, we're planning. We have crazy plans, for Slovenly. Carmen, you know what Slovenly do with We Are Loud Fest. We Are Loud
Yes.
Fest. Okay.
Yes, and it's like a traveling festival, right?
Yes, it is. Already been in Istanbul, Greece, Puerto Rico, Mexico, different Reno. We're planning to make 1 year here in Venice one day with a boat party. We hope we can do it. Probably one day we will do it. But yeah, the crazy idea that we were talking about was actually to go to Africa.
Oh, wow.
Okay, in Ethiopia. Actually, for me, it's a great location because Venice and this part of Africa have crazy connections, historical connection because of the travelings of Venice, and so I'm really tripping about this incredible festival where we would like to do. Peter have already been there years ago, and we prepared a little video to explain what is the project of We're Loud in Africa.
This video from 2004 of the X playing in Ethiopia is probably my single most favorite video on YouTube. You may have seen it before, but, well, I never get sick of watching it. First of all, it's a huge inspiration for We're Loud Fest. It represents what we dream of making happen with the festival around the world. It's incredible to see this sea of Ethiopians just standing and watching, bewildered, until she starts singing and they realize that they're playing Ethiopian music. And then they start busting those incredible dance moves. How could anyone tire of seeing that? We plan to bring a festival to Africa eventually. We were aiming for 2021 before the coronavirus. Now, who knows? But that's what our planning is looking like right now. We're doing whatever research we can from quarantine. We're making plans for what and where. We really don't know when we'll be able to do it, but we will. One new connection we made from quarantine is Joe from Italy. Via his killer Zamrock mix I stumbled across on Mixcloud. Turns out he also made an incredible documentary about Zamrock legends Witch, and hopefully he'll be joining us as a guest on We're Loud TV right after this 2-minute preview for his film.
Ok, ciao Joe.
Ciao,
benvenuto.
Thank you.
Carmen, thank you very much. I think you have to go right now. Okay.
Yeah, I have to go soon. Sorry, but thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll see more of each other soon.
Yes. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
And ciao, Joe. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you
For
too.
coming. Joe is a filmmaker, and can you introduce yourself? What is your work about?
My work started with a blog called Is Your Clam in a Jam, where I used to initially write about music, and then I started doing sessions, video sessions here in Milan of bands that I liked that came through town. And then after a while of doing that, I had an opportunity to go to Africa on a marketing trip for Iveco with some friends of mine. And doing that trip, I found out we were passing through Zambia. And so I had to go there, and I had to find out about this band Witch that I had heard about. And I found out their lead singer was still alive. I initially just wanted to do a session with him. But then I thought, while I'm here, I might as well ask him a few questions. And the whole thing kind of snowballed into this documentary that we finished it about a year ago now. It's been in a few festivals, but it should be distributed soon.
Thank you. I see only the trailer, and that is amazing. I watched it like 10 times because I'm a big fan of Witch and Zamrock,
Okay.
70s psychedelia. And yeah, let's see the trailer together, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
So Witch were here, right?
They were happening.
They bewitched me.
I wonder what's in here.
The high point of psychedelic garage.
His Excellency, the President of Zambia.
This is Zambia, a land of witch.
Witch is like the Beatles of Zambia.
The craziest genre of music. A lot of people just thought there's no way that we're going to find these people.
It's like meeting Paul McCartney.
I wish the whole band was alive. I'm growing old. I find myself mining gemstones instead of making music. It can't just end here. This is a new beginning. Look at us. We used to have afros. You've got that too. God will ask me, I gave you talent. What did you do with it? It's been a long wait. Good to see you. Yes, I've not exhausted what's in me.
Yo,
very
powerful.
Thank you.
Can you tell us something? How it was to film with these legendary African rockers down there?
Well, it was quite strange in a lot of ways. First of all, being in Africa is very different than being in Europe or in the Western world. And you have to get used to how things work there, like waiting around and not having to expect things to happen on time. Like sometimes I would meet Jaggery, we'd have to meet at 8, and then he arrives at 12:30 because he had to meet some friend and do this or that. So those are things that took a little bit longer, but it was more than anything really interesting meeting him and fellow Zambian musicians from the 70s who they kind of had that life in the 70s, and after that it was finished for them. Like they didn't think that anybody was ever going to care about it, especially not even in Zambia, but even outside of Zambia. And then I show up like with some people. We start shooting it. We brought some musicians to Zambia, Jaco Gardner and Nick Mauskowicz, to play a show with him in Zambia. And it was funny there because most of the people that came were people that were in their 60s, people that lived those times and hadn't seen the band live in so long, because Jaggery, the lead singer, is the only member that's still alive, because unfortunately all the other members they were hippies, as everybody was, and they kind of like were practicing free love. But then sadly Zambia was one of the worstly hit countries by AIDS. So a lot of them, and this is not only the members of Witch, but the scene back then was really big, and about 10% of the musicians are still alive from then, which is quite sad. And the ones that are still alive, like Jaggery, are born-again Christians that, they kind of like, if we're still alive, God must, so they went that direction. But it was interesting doing that. And then obviously we brought Jaggery to Europe, to do a European tour, and there was different because there was only young people. There were no old people, because the people from back in the day didn't even know that it existed. And it was funny to see also his transformation from like being quite shy on stage to then being a complete rock star, like going crazy and like, jumping in the crowd and all of that.
Yeah, I think I saw on YouTube live in London. From that tour, I guess. That is amazing.
Yeah, we did.
He made this introduction. He speaks about the day of the independence of Zambia. They were supposed to play. Can you?
Yeah. So basically, this was on the night before the first the 10-year Jubilee celebration of Zambian independence, which the independence was 24th of October 1964. So this was like 23rd of October 1974. Okay. And what happened is that they were playing at a club that was kind of like close by to where some politicians had their home, and they were playing too loud, so they got arrested. They were sent to jail, and since they were sent to jail, since it was holiday the next day, like there was no judge that was going to be like, yeah, you can go out or not, because everybody was partying. So they had to be stay in jail for the whole of the independence, and they gave him like a packet of sugar, like as a celebration, and a pack of cigarettes. And so Jaggery just decided he took the pack of cigarettes, wrote the lyrics to that song called October Night. And then the next day there was fans with like picket signs outside the jail, so they let them go, but they wrote the song for it.
These incredible stories. But how is nowadays to travel in Zambia, to organize a show in Zambia? You find
Zambia is really chilled out as a country because they, as I said, they've been independent since 1964, and they never had a war, not a civil war, not a war with anybody outside. So people there are pretty relaxed. There's like, it's weird because as soon as they understand what you're doing, at first they might be a bit standoffish, but then when they understand, they are really welcoming. For example, like we would like be filming on the street, and people would come to us and be like, "What are you doing?" And we say, "We're doing a documentary." It's like, "Oh, BBC?" Like, no, independent. As like, "What are you doing it on?" Like, "Oh, about the Zambian band from the 70s." And they're like, "So you're doing something to promote Zambian culture?" You're like, "Yeah," and then they come and hug you. So and things like that.
People is welcoming.
Yeah, completely. At first, if they don't understand what you're doing, they might be a bit like, "What's this?" Because like they think, many times they thought that I was going to be there, go there and rip them off, or I don't know what. But then like as soon as they understand your motive, then they're like, okay, And I think organizing a show, we organized a show there. It's not easy, but like in the end, like you can make it happen. Like we organized a show in this sort of yard, but we built the stage and everything. And yeah, I mean, it can definitely work. It's just like you have to prepare it quite a bit in advance because like we went there a little bit last minute and we kind of made it happen. But if you're not super ready for it, like it takes a bit of time, I guess.
Ok, vedo che abbiamo con noi anche un altro amico dall'altra parte del mondo. Introduciamo Capitan Morte. Capitan Muerte! Hi! Vedo che abbiamo con noi anche un altro amico dall'altra parte del mondo. We took Capitan Muerte by surprise.
Hey!
There is a bit of delay with...
Can't hear you, man.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Ok.
No,
ok, saremo dopo con Capitan Muerte. Adesso gli diciamo di sistemare un attimo. We tell Capitan Muerte to check his audio connection, and we'll be back with him to speak about the punk scene and the rock and roll scene in Yucatan, in Mexico. But we found out another interesting video from Cole from the Black Lips. Years ago, he launched this video that he's traveling in Africa. So let's see it, and we'll be back soon. We are back, Joe. Thank you very much. I think we can say goodbye. Just one last question. Have you met like young people playing rock and roll down in Zambia?
Yeah, but not very good rock and roll. Like their place is sort of like screamo new metal things. I mean, it's cool that they're doing it because like everybody else is doing hip hop, so at least there's like a scene with guitars. But yeah, last time I was there, we had two young bands opening the show for Witch, but they were more that sort of genre. Not exactly punk, not exactly metal, but some sort of weird mix.
There is a contemporary band, rock and roll or rock band from Zambia right now that you would recommend it to?
Not really that I would recommend, but also not really that have recorded anything. These guys just play live when they can. Okay. And I mean, I was there last time 4 years ago, and there were 17 back then. Maybe like something has evolved. I follow them on Facebook, but I think they've all gone in different directions. But I could probably find out.
I think it's kind of strange, like a band like Witch were releasing vinyls in the 60s, and nowadays we have a lot of more technical stuff, and bands are not able to release records.
Yeah, I know, but because like bands like Witch, like they like really cared about it, learned their instruments, and went for it, and wanted to have a career from it. And like a lot of musicians now in Zambia just want to have like a song on the radio so they can get like a bit of money, and without putting the effort and maybe for learning an instrument, and just like putting like a weird track and then auto-tune, and I don't know.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. It was great to hear you.
And see you soon, hopefully.
See you soon. And we look forward to see your movie.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know.
Cheers. Ok, abbiamo di nuovo Capitan Muerte. Lo prendiamo. We have back Capitan Muerte. We always take you by surprise. Sorry. And we have
Capitan. Hey, ¿cómo están?
Bien, we're back.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, so tell us about the scene in Mérida and in Cancun.
Well, Mérida lately has been awesome. It's a great city.
Hey.
And
Hola.
Di hola.
Hola.
Hola, guapa.
Yeah, we have done like great shows lately in Mérida. Like we have been spinning records a lot lately, and people seems to like it very much. They reacted very good, and the last shows with Telecrimen and Tommy and the Commies, the Cave-In, they were awesome. People, they were like crazy about them. At the same with Playa del Carmen area. This I don't know. Cancun has been a little slow, but Playa del Carmen has been great. Merida as well, and the shows has been crazy, and a lot of people, they get connected to the rock and roll scene, and with the records, the stores are crazy about the records now, so it's a good thing.
Cool. By the way, everybody, Mauricio runs Slovenly Mexico, and he lives in Cancun, Mexico. It's the Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah, you know, where all the spring breakers go and stuff, but he's making a really cool rock and roll scene. He's part of the really cool rock and roll scene that's happening there. And our plan is to do We're Loud Fest in Cancun one weekend, and then in Cuba the following weekend. We don't know when, but
yeah, it's a shame about the virus. We were planning to do it this year, but I mean, probably it's not gonna happen. But we don't know yet. But well, it's not.
Nope.
But actually, it's a very good plan. I mean, the show we're trying to get here, so I hope we can do it soon.
And what's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas tú? Marina.
¿Cómo te llamas? Dilo. ¿Cómo te llamas? Grita. Sí.
Ya me llamo Marina.
Hola, Marina. Bueno, pues, gracias. Thank you.
Hey, guys, have a great time in Puerto Escondido. Hey, to
yeah.
everybody. Okay.
Right.
Hope to see you soon.
Okay, see you soon, man.
Ciao.
Ciao. Y adiós. Y adiós. Hey, Enrico.
Enrico, what do we got now? What's up next? Hipsville, right? We got some video message from Hipsville. You're muted. We can't hear you. Mute. Here, let's throw the Hipsville video on.
Okay, so we have technical problems. Now we go back to Europe now, right? And
that's right.
We have a message from other two organizers from a really cool festival. We like a lot. Hipsville.
Yeah, I went to the Hipsville a couple of years back, and I had a lot of fun. They invited me to DJ. Really lovely people. I've known Alex for a really long time when she was living in Belgium, and yeah, their festival's a lot of fun. Let's see the video. Enrico, throw it on there.
Hey everyone.
Hi everyone watching Get Loud TV. I'm Alex.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome to our home in Brighton in the UK.
Together with our friend Aid, we put on the Hipsville A-Go-Go weekend every year in the UK. We like to call it the UK's wildest 60s and beyond party weekend. Beyond is important, because we go everywhere with this.
We normally do it the first May bank holiday, but this year unfortunately we had to cancel, like so many other festivals. So ideally we would like to put it on next year, 2021, the 30th of April, 1st of May, 2nd of May.
So what we tend to do is we will base the whole weekend in a town called Margate, which is in the southeast of England, not far from Dover and about an hour east of London. What we do is we take over 3 to 4 venues in the afternoon and have live bands in the afternoon, DJs through the day.
Gorillas.
Yeah, gorillas, dancers. Beach party, which we've got planned as well on the sandy beach in Margate. And it allows people to move between venues during the day, have a drink, have fun with us, but also explore Margate, which is a crazy seaside town. And after that, we move on. In the evening, we go to a venue called the Lido, which is an old 1920s Lido, as it says, right on the beach. And we've got a really cool venue there that we have late nights in, and it goes on, I don't know, what is it, 4 a.m. or whatever the license is we get for anyway.
You can find all the info on our website, hipsville.co.uk. We have a Facebook page, Instagram. You can also check all the previous years, all the pictures, it's all online. So please do and have a look.
Okay, so this year, 2020, we had planned in May, we were going to do a theme, because we always theme it. When you'll see on the website, every year is a different theme. So we decorate, everyone dresses up if they want. And this year was going to be Hipsville Cult A Go-Go. People love the idea, so we're actually going to stick with it for next year. And we're also going to try and stick with the lineup that we had. And I know that's all down to whether the bands can do this or not, but this year we did have lined up Losing Streaks from America, we had King Khan's Louder Than Death, we had the Drag Tones, we had a whole load of international DJs, we had, I don't know, 6 or 7 go-go dancers, loads of gorillas. We have a light show by our friend Dave, who does crazy projections, everything. So that we're planning to do that all again next year, and we will ask all the bands again to see if we can get them to play again. Obviously, let's see how that goes.
So yeah, stay tuned. Keep follow us on Facebook, and we will release the information as soon as we know we can go ahead with the festival, the event in 2021. And in the meantime, we keep putting on guerrilla radio shows. We did a few themed online parties. We did a toga party, and now we're just gonna random parties whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, so the whole idea is we got bored during lockdown. So if you go to our Hipsville Go-Go Facebook page, we put together a whole load of international DJs from around the world, and we just get everyone to do live DJ sets. We have a bit of fun. Like we said, we had some themed weekends. We're probably now just going to do random DJ sets live. It's good fun, you know, tune in, people play everything from 60s to punk.
No rules.
No rules, we don't have any rules. This is what we like about our weekend. People seem to love it. So, check us out.
Yeah.
See what's going on. We always have a party, people love it. Hit the website up, because that's where all the info is. Hope your COVID lockdowns aren't too bad, and we hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Great. We are back. We are back. This is I think it's time to say goodbye. What you say, Pete?
Yeah, sure. But look, check this out. We got a little video message from our buddy Luke from the kids. Check this out.
Hi guys. Greetings from me, Luke, from the kids. Right from Belgium. Okay, stay cool.
Yeah. That was a quick one. Thank you. Luke.
Yeah. I just asked him. He wanted to join us as a guest, but you know, he didn't really have time today, so I just asked him to send us a quickie. So we got a quickie from the kids, and the kids, of course, are going to be. They're always involved in our plans for future. We're Loudfest, not always, but almost always. They played almost every edition because they're the best guys in the world, and one of the best fucking rock and roll bands on planet Earth.
ever. Yes,
And
we'll make a special, maybe another episode of We're Loud TV is going to be a special on the kids and the punk in Belgium. Why not?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We
Good
know
idea.
that the Belgians are like one of the more die-hard party people ever.
Yeah. Total.
Right.
Total.
That's
Hey, let's
true.
say goodbye to Capitan.
More die-hard.
Adios, Capitan. Thanks for joining us. He didn't know he was on. Well, shit. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much, Enrico, for hosting the show. Sorry we couldn't be on here more often, but our connection is fucking shit. And, yeah, right on.
Yo, see you next